He's got a huge frame. He's built up speed, that long stride, and when you watch him, you'll see some unbelievable adjustments and circus catches. But one of the reasons why he's still available right now is because he has some drops. But you've got the inside guys in Isabella and Christian Kirk. We're going to see Larry Fitzgerald probably play outside this year, and this will be the player on the other side, Hakeem Butler. And you love what he can do down in the red zone. That's where he's going to make his hay to keep with the Cowboy theme. He's got a huge catch radius.
And you nailed it about how these receivers are used in this type of an offense with their frame and their build.
Excellent field vision. His game's more about timing and anticipation. I put Jared Goff light on there because he's got a similar frame with a similar game.
Well, where did they get their new head coach from?
There you go. That's where you tie it all together there, Rich.
You know, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, it's great. It's a great point. But this is somebody that doesn't have that same arm strength as Jared Goff. But again, the accuracy. The most important thing, you talk to any quarterback coach, you start with accuracy. Ryan Finley, tremendously accurate. So this will give a little push here to Andy Dalton. He's got range. He's going to play as a big nickel and match up with tight ends inside. You can use him high, but I like him better when he's in the slot matched up. We see that around the league right now, using those bigger guys because they can be force players against the run. Here he is coming off the edge, blitzing. See the burst that he has. He plays to that 4.4 speed. He's got the toughness to work through blocks here on the perimeter. Again, close to the line of scrimmage, get out to the perimeter and make a tackle. See him drive on the ball underneath, find it, pick it, and take it home. And then in zone coverage, watch him fall off right here, show you the instincts, range, and find the football. If you think about how he played in college and what he's going to do in the NFL, there are some similarities to Malcolm Jenkins, a player that the New Orleans Saints drafted back in the day.
Crosby of Eastern Michigan appears to be, is that the latest Raiders pick?
That's the Raiders pick.
Mayock's latest pick, huh?
Yeah, and you see, we've talked about it from the beginning. The number 13, they haven't had many sacks, 13 sacks. This kid can get after the quarterback, got a nice swooping inside swim move. He's a little bit clunky and unorthodox the way he does it, but he gets home and generates pressure, and that's need number 1 for the Raiders. 6'7", 270 pounds. Reminded me a little bit of Isaac Rochelle when he was coming out of Notre Dame, who plays for the Chargers. He played as a 4-3 defensive end. It's all widened and bull rush. He's got tremendous power and plays with great effort. Just didn't have a big-time get-off or burst, but he's going to be really good against the run, and with his size and length, there's a lot to work with.
You notice he was announced as a linebacker. That was a mistake.
I can't see that happening.
Some of these drafts, some of these picks, you get them announced, you wonder if they're a tackle or they're a guard. In this case, they said linebacker. He's a defensive end.
One of the best available. Outstanding instincts. I think he's going to be a day 1 starting nickel. Desmond King, I think they're the same player. Desmond King was an all-pro for the Chargers last year. You're going to get a chance to look at the tape when you study him. He's got great ball skills, especially when he's working underneath. Watch him play the hands, find the football, and just rake the ball out of the wide receiver down the field. He's very aggressive and plays bigger versus larger receivers. We talked about J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, all those contested catches. Well, this is not one of them. Love working through his body to poke the ball away. Plays a little bit bigger than his size. And now you see, can he run? The time speed doesn't blow you away, but he's plenty fast enough. Undercut this ball and poke it away. This is a team that drafted DeAndre Baker. They came back into the bottom of the first round to get him. They've got 2 of the better corners in this draft. He is a box safety, which is going to be a perfect complement to Malik Hooker, who's going to be that high safety to float over the top. This kid's at his best when he's in the box. They'll use him some in the slot. His speed is a little bit questionable, but he's done well matching up with tight ends. So this is a marriage to me with a box safety and a free safety. And talking to teams around the league, they pointed me out to this kid's speech that he gave at Big Ten Media Day. Kirk Cousins got a lot of attention out of Michigan State for the speech he gave there. They said this one was every bit as good, an impressive young man.
Mitch Wishnowsky. I got this. I can read off a screen. I also know that he won the Ray Guy Award back in 2016. Punters are All-Americans too. Second team. But is an All-American. Because punters in Utah, the Pac-12, they're weapons. Punters everywhere around the world can flip field position and win football games. Punters are 4th rounders too. And yes, you put them in chocolate and they come out so delicious.
Well,
Hold your break.
Oh, that is
Rich.
beautiful.
There it is, Rich.
I did a lot of homework on him, Rich. You want to hear my notes?
I don't.
Second best punter in the draft.
All right, so Kendall Sheffield from Ohio State is who the Falcons just traded up 6 spots to get.
Remember we saw those receivers from Ohio State run low 4.3 at the combine? Right. Everybody at Ohio State told me Kendall Sheffield was faster than all of them. Unfortunately, he tore his pec when they were doing the bench at the combine, so he couldn't run. This is an incredibly raw player. He began at Alabama, went to junior college, and then ended up at Ohio State. But he's height, weight, speed. He can really, really go. He's just got to clean things up with his feet. He's a little bit sloppy. He'll get out of phase, meaning he'll lose relationship down the field. But if you want to have some fun and you're a fan of this player, go watch his junior college highlights on YouTube.
At Flynn?
You are welcome. They are phenomenal.
And remember, the Falcons let Robert Alford go. So on the opposite side, right? So you've got a spot there. And think about Dan Quinn, who is taking firm control of this defense now. What is he like, Peter, on defense? Speed.
Breaking free. Look out.
Bryce Love, running back.
And about some love.
The 2017 Doak Walker Award winner.
Well, I was happy to see Bryce Love get selected coming off of an ACL injury. Some teams were a little bit worried about his medical, but he's strong and explosive. If you watched him in 2017, you think he's going to be a second-round pick. This year, the production was down. Then, unfortunately, you end up having that injury. But he runs hard, physical for his size. He's got good vision. Needs to improve in pass protection a little bit. That's an area for him. Just gets to move back a little bit and did not get involved very much in the passing game. So those are the 2 areas he needs to improve. But, guys, in 2017, it was one 50-yard run after another.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about the Heisman Trophy for him early on in that season that year.
Exactly. And if he doesn't get dinged up last year, we're still having that conversation. He was a great workhorse running back for them. I think he can be a good receiver. Just has to work on and develop those skills. But here's the interesting part about him. You mentioned it, DJ, and Peter, you know this too. Could have come out last year, probably been a second-round choice. But he's a kid who's at peace with staying in school.
The Baltimore Ravens are building a track team. That's what they're doing. This kid is explosive, 4.4 flat speed. Philip Lindsay in size has that same exact burst that Philip Lindsay has. He's going to complement beautifully what they have there at Mark Ingram. I love this pick for the Baltimore Ravens. I said before the draft started, I thought 2 of their first 3 picks would be offensive linemen. Instead, it was 2 of their first 4. But this is great value where they got him here. Quick feet and hands. He was outstanding at the Senior Bowl. He's going to have a chance now with Garrett Bradbury, give them a nice young nucleus along that offensive line, Charles.
Yeah, 3 Oklahoma offensive linemen off the board now, correct? Cody Evans, Bobby Evans, and Drew Samia. Ben Powers will come off the board before the day's over as well. 4 out of the 5 starting linemen for Oklahoma last year going to be picked in this draft. The 5th one, he can't be picked. He was just too young. Center.
Quick team that needs to rush the quarterback. They drafted Brian Burns in the 1st round. They come back with Christian Miller. Has some injuries, but when he's been healthy, he's been very productive. He's got a great push-pull move coming off the edge. He's very good with his hands. They'll play him standing up as well as with his hand in the ground. Just when they drop him in coverage, you see a little bit of stiffness there. But if he can stay healthy, he'll be a part of the rotation and he'll crank up that pass rush.
That's something that they need because they want more push from KK Short inside again. They want to get back to what they got from him in 15 and 16. Get some guys coming off the edge now, although we continue to forget. They got a couple of guys like Addison who have played fairly well for them, but Miller can help.
Another big nickel. We saw it with Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, another one in that same type of role. This is how he plays in that Iowa defense. Very intelligent. You'll see him in underneath zone coverage, just undercut balls and make a bunch of plays. When he lines up high, he gets a little bit bored, but I like him down there in the box. And reminds me a little bit of Micah Hyde when he was coming out of the same school. Got a pretty good front 4 when they're all gone at this point in time from Clemson. He's the 4th defensive lineman. Can really set the edge, all power. And again, when you have those big 3, he's kind of the forgotten man in the discussion, but a really good player. If he didn't have a pec strain, if he didn't have that injury, I think he probably goes in the 2nd round of this draft. So a really good value right there. Denmark. Froholt playing for the Razorbacks. Plays left guard. This is a fascinating story. He's really good in pass protection, which will be great there in this offense. Feisty and competitive in the run game and was outstanding in the Texas A&M game. That's why I liked him. This is a very interesting player. I put Swiss Army knife because you can play him at tight end, H-back, fullback, move him all around. He is nasty and powerful. Think of Red Ellison when he was coming out of USC, going to the Minnesota Vikings, and all the different roles he can fill. You see him catch the ball over the middle of the field. He's not going to do a lot of pass catching from a traditional tight end position, but you are going to be able to use him as a wing to help in pass protection, to be a lead blocker. You'll even see him some at fullback, I believe, in this offense in New York.
I think you see him a lot at fullback, frankly. Le'Veon Bell's going to say, okay, big boy, come on and do this, and then you can slip him out into the flat to catch passes a little bit.
A big, powerful runner, Rich, who did not time very well, but was ultra productive and reliable. Sounds a little bit like a guy named James Conner when he was coming out of college. Certain teams have their type, and this fits right with what they want to do. He's going to get you those tough yards. In the bowl game, he finished the game. You talk about a 4-minute offense. He was the 4-minute offense.
He wrapped it.
He closed out the game.
And Rich, I think that you have an affinity for this kid for another reason as well. You're a Jets fan, aren't you?
Oh, sure.
The name Snell comes to mind, doesn't it?
It does. I just love
that would be his grandfather, Matt Snell.
Isn't that amazing? I love the football family stuff you do here, Charles. I mean, he looks like a Pittsburgh Steeler when you think of a Steeler running back.
And that looked like his grandfather running the football. Watch this. Watch this now. Okay? He's not going to run away from a bunch of people, but contact is his watchword. And when he does get a gap, look at him looking, and I'll finish you off. Right there. That's how he would finish people off. Drop that forearm. Remember him at Ohio State? Drop that forearm, just bam, right through people. That's Benny Snell as well.
The thing that jumps out to me is the Baltimore Ravens love spending time in Norman, Oklahoma. Last year, Mark Andrews and Orlando Brown came in and had an immediate impact. They go Hollywood Brown in the first round. Now they come back with Ben Powers. I have more Oklahoma players in Oklahoma by the time the season starts next year.
I know we want to talk about the player real quick. Mo Gaba, the young man, 13-year-old.
Hi, this is Cliff Avril, Seattle Seahawks defensive end legend, and with the 124th pick of the 2019 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks select Phil Haynes, guard, Wake Forest.
Phil Haynes picked up some steam in the workout circuit with private workouts, offensive line coaches. This was kind of one of their guys, so a lot of people compete for him. You're going to play left guard when you study him. He can latch and drive you in the run game, and pretty athletic to redirect in pass protection. So a good, solid player that just really rose up to the ranks in the spring.
End zone. Touchdown!
Riley Ridley, wide receiver, 1,026 career receiving yards.
Oh boy, DJ, huh? Add this to the mix there.
I think this is a great pick. He is a pure route runner. We talked about Anthony Miller in last year's draft, the best route runner last year. I think they got the best route runner this year as well. Strong hands. The only problem is there's limited production because there were so many mouths to feed in that Georgia offense, not just wide receivers, but running backs. Watch him run routes here. Great space to the sideline. Watch the hands late. Don't throw them up too early. Throws them up late. Beautiful. He can hang in the air along the sideline. Watch him get up and high point this ball, not only to catch it, but watch him twirl around, show you the balance and athleticism, stay in bounds, and get into the end zone. Now he's working against Mika Fitzpatrick. Watch this. Set it up and come back downhill to give the quarterback a nice, safe throw. And he's very efficient at the top. You put him one-on-one with a safety, forget about it. Two-way go. There is no chance in this situation. Sell it outside, cross his face, and you've got a touchdown. I think this is a perfect fit in this offense. Tremendous value. They just got a top 50 player, in my opinion.
Who came to USC with a ton of acclaim, highly touted coming out of high school. Took a little while to get some traction, but you can see what we saw Senior Bowl week. The ability to see the play, trust his eyes, trigger, and go make the play before it can be blocked. How about him using his size and his ability to stay on the hip of the receiver? See, I saw the ball the whole way, his head looking back to the quarterback. That allows him to make a play on the football. Look at him on the inside slant coming inside. I thought he was extremely consistent the week of the Senior Bowl, and that's what got him moved up, I think, in the eyes of some scouts.
Tony Pollard, they used him a lot in the slot, and he is a dynamic kickoff returner, one of the best in this year's draft class. I put down Cordero Patterson because that's the type of role you're going to use him in. A lot of fly sweeps, shovels, just get the ball in his hands. But this is why he was drafted where he was drafted, for what he does on kickoff return. He's got big-time speed, ran 4.38 at his pro day, and he's got the power and strength you need as a kickoff returner, as well, CD, as being fearless. Those are the key components at that spot.
He's an absolute dart, and you know they filled in with, from Green Bay, the Randall Cobb to be the slot guy with Cole Beasley going to Buffalo. But this guy can get some reps in there. He can get some carries at running back if you really want to. As Daniel described, a dynamic kick return guy. So you use him all over the place. The size is going to be the issue for him in terms of getting full-time carries. That's why he won't be that guy. But a jack of all trades, he will be that person. An injection of speed for Dallas in their division.
Another big corner. They went Trayvon Mullen from Clemson earlier. Very similar. Talk about that Pete Carroll tree cornerback, meaning that system where you can play up, use your length, play some cover three. That's exactly what this guy's going to do. Huge upside. He's not there yet. He's raw, going to need to be developed. But at that size to run 4.4 flat, you got something to work with. Backer, tremendous effort and chase sideline to sideline. In coverage, I thought he struggled a little bit tight, struggled to find the ball at times. He's always around the football, though. That's the best thing I can say about Drew Twinkle. I think he'll be on special teams early on in his career. With Thomas Davis signed to go along with Denzel Perriman, I don't see him cracking the starting lineup, but he's going to be somebody who'll help him on 4th down.
Yeah, he'll play on the special teams and play very well. Excellent in the locker room and a great insurance policy in the beginning of his career.
All right, Wes Martin has been added to the mix in Washington.
Indiana has played left guard there. Very aware. He's patient in pass protection. He can get some movement in the run game. Not a great athlete, but just a real strong physical player for that Indiana offensive line, CD.
And that works well for Washington because think of the runners that they have. Watch what Wes Martin does, right? Good positioning there, keeping him away. Look at this, DJ. Look at him, little skip step, skip pull, and he gets in front. And the thing is, he had to take a little bit to find his target, but once he did, he got there and then sets up. But if you want big physical with this Washington offense, Adrian Peterson, Darius Geis, Bryce Love, they want those big people up in front of them.
By Ugo, and to me, I think he's a starting nickel. He's tough and instinctive. If you've watched LaMarcus Joyner and how he's played during his career, this is who this kid reminds me of. I love him. The time, speed, that was the only question. He ended up running 4.51. He is a mirror and match cover guy. Watch him with an pick 6 against Cal. I was all on board with this kid. Jarrett Stidham, he throws the best ball of anybody in this draft. You put him in shorts and a t-shirt, you would pick Jarrett Stidham as the guy. He's a great athlete, just wasn't a great fit in that Auburn offense after transferring from Baylor. Operates in the gun. They throw a lot of those quick tunnel screens, a lot of those short underneath throws, because when they do try and go down the field, he's under constant pressure. That offensive line was outmanned in the SEC this year for Auburn. The problem is he'll make some wild throws and miss some easy layups. I think he needed to sit, and he obviously is going to get plenty of opportunity to do that in New England, even for a couple years. I think this is a payoff long-term. Second pick from the University of Washington to the Los Angeles Rams. They went Taylor Rapp in the first round, who was the playmaker really at the second and third level of that defense, and this was the guts up front of Greg Gaines. Plays in the 3 technique over a guard as well as over the center. He flashes a little bit of twitch, and there was an interception in the Stanford game where he fully lays out, and I thought, okay, he's a little more athletic than I'm giving this kid credit for. Reminds me of Kelly Gregg, who I was around with the Ravens.
And this is where he gets caught with measurables, as we do an NFL player comparison brought to you by Dodge.
Yes.
Greg Gaines, and I'm going old school with Jim Burt. Because measurables with Gaines, people worry about his arm length, people worry about, the actual size, is it, how tall he is, all those things. You didn't worry about that with Jim Burt very much, did you? All he did was stay in the middle of the field, take on double teams, split them, and then make plays.
He's almost 6'6", so he's almost in that Michael Jordan territory, which is very unusual for a center to be that tall. We've seen Max Unger play at that height. That's going to be the challenge for him. Where does he play? I think he ends up playing golf.
Coming in, but
he's a combine freak, too.
Morris Harvey, this is the best story, I think, of these guys. Look at the footage. You love the grainy footage. Guys showed up to college, 210 pounds as an option quarterback. Would eat pizza twice a week, would just have supreme pizzas, beefed up, went to the library, obviously got his body in order, leaves college 285 pounds. I'm told that the Falcons staff loved the meeting with the kid, loved the prospect, and he's going to be an NFL player. First time from that school, 76 years.
And Sharif Miller tested outstanding at the combine, ran 4.69. He plays defensive end. He'll play over the tight end, more of a push-the-pocket pass rusher. He's got a little snap in his hands. Athletically, the speed is there. Not great in terms of change direction stuff, but they love to invest in the line of scrimmage with Howie Roseman, Joe Douglas, Andy Weidel and company with the Philadelphia Eagles. They do it offensive line, defensive line. They do it each and every year.